This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Do you know what time Azerbaijan, I mean, the modern democratic Azerbaijan Republic was founded? Actually regained its independence. What about this one? Have you heard about it? What time did Azerbaijan regain its independence? In the 1991, October 18, yes. So, but what about, so, how we regained our independence? Was it possible to resist against huge Soviet empire and get independence from this huge empire? Was it possible to resist them? And what do you think? How is it possible to resist huge empire which occupied your territory, and you struggle for your independence and get independence? Yes. How is it possible?
Didn't like the Soviet Union like break apart? So like all the countries broke apart from it. Like Russia broke apart, Kazakhstan broke apart, Ukraine broke apart. Like,
yeah, you are right. It happened in 1991. Yes, but my
yeah.
question is that yes, Soviet empire collapsed, and we lived under the Soviet occupation more than 71 years. Not only us, but also Armenians, Georgians, Ukrainians, Belarusians, yes, all 15 republics, 15 nations lived under the Soviet occupation more than 70 years, yes. But at some, so toward the end of 20th century, in the 1990s and 80s actually, the national movement started within the Soviet Empire to get independence. Yes, one of those territories was Azerbaijan, that where the national movement started. The purpose was to get independence, freedom from the Soviet Empire. We know we and the other nations did not want to live under the Russian occupation anymore. They wanted to be independent. They wanted freedom. Yes, but what was the reason? Why national movement started in Azerbaijan? So it brings us to my question: what is a national movement? National movement is a freedom movement. You want to get independence from the country which occupied your territory. Yes, am I right, Ayhan? Do you understand what's a national movement? Can you please repeat, what is a national movement? It is the political movement aims to get independence from the country which occupied your territories. Am I right, Melech? That you don't speak.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, what time did Soviet Empire occupy Azerbaijan? Do you remember that?
Not the exact
From the
date.
previous lessons.
Was it,
Not exactly, but I told you in 1920. First Democratic Azerbaijan Republic was occupied by Soviet Empire in 1920 April.
1920,
Yes,
yeah.
1920 April 27. They occupied our territory, and we lived under their occupation 70 years. So they, and then toward the end of 20th century, Azerbaijan, the national movement started in Azerbaijan in order to get independence from the Soviet Empire. We wanted to be free. Why we have to live under the Soviet Empire? We were a separate nation. We had right to be independent. Yes. So this is a national movement. Again, national movement is a movement, then political movement actually aims to get independence, to get freedom. Yes. You don't agree to live under someone's occupation anymore. Okay, so let's look at that. Why national movement started in Azerbaijan? What was the reason? So, guys, we have so far, if I'm not mistaken, we have talked about Armenians, and I told you Armenian population, they settled to Azerbaijan territories by Russia. Yes, even Armenian state itself was created by Russia within the Azerbaijan territories and Azerbaijan territories, historical Azerbaijani lands. Yes. So, when it was a period on so the Azerbaijani people, they were deported from the historical lands of Azerbaijanis, and they were subjected to the genocide by the Armenians. We were expelled from our historical lands during the even Soviet Empire. So, by the end of this, when the Soviet Empire was already weak and it was on the eve of the collapse, desolation, so Armenians took advantage of this situation, and they wanted to, how can I say, they wanted to annex Karabakh territory. I mean, that more, you know what is the conflict? Yes, the Karabakh conflict. So they wanted to annex the Karabakh territory to Armenia. Yes, it was the beginning of national movement. They got support from the Soviet leaders, and they showed aggression against us. They killed people in Karabakh, living in Karabakh. They forced people to leave the Karabakh territories. The Azerbaijanis were expelled from the Armenia, Karabakh. They killed Azerbaijanis in Karabakh. So that's why Azerbaijani people were very angry, and they expect the Soviet Empire to stop Armenian aggression, but they didn't take any measure to stop Armenians. Yes, do you understand me? So when the Armenians made attempt to occupy the Karabakh, to annex the Karabakh to the Armenia, so they started to kill Azerbaijanis here in Karabakh, and Azerbaijanis were expelled, deported from their own historical lands. It, how can I say, it caused a concern, dissatisfaction among the Azerbaijani people. Why Soviet Empire does not take any measure to stop Armenians? Do you understand me? If we are living under the Soviet Empire, why they don't stop Armenians? Why they don't stop Armenian aggression against us? They kill Azerbaijanis in Karabakh. Azerbaijanis are being expelled from the Karabakh and Armenian territories. Why they don't take any measure to stop Armenian aggression? That's why when the Azerbaijanis saw that Soviet Empire does not take any measure to stop Armenians, we started our independence movement, freedom movement, because we realized that this problem cannot be solved if we don't get independence. Is that clear, guys? Why national movement started? I mean, the Karabakh conflict started at that point. This is the beginning of Karabakh conflict. It's not the beginning, but the war, first Karabakh war, started because of that. Because Armenians showed aggression against us, killed Azerbaijanis in the Karabakh. They forced them to leave the Karabakh territories, as well as the people. There were many people living in Armenia itself, which were the historical Azerbaijan lands. Armenians also forced the Azerbaijanis here, and they were expelled from the Armenian territories, which were the historical Azerbaijan territories. So it created a kind of frustration within Azerbaijan society. Why anybody in the Soviet Empire does not prevent Armenians if they show aggression against us, they kill Azerbaijanis? Yes. So we had only one choice. Yes, what? How could we solve this problem, guys? What was the choice? What was the option for us? To get what? Independence, yes? The freedom and solve our problems. Yes? Is it clear, Melech?
Yes. Yes.
Can you please explain why national movement started? What was the problem? Why we decided to be independent, free?
Because the Armenians had gone to Azerbaijan territories.
Yeah, they claimed that Karabakh belonged to them, and they started to kill Azerbaijanis in Karabakh. They forced Azerbaijani population here to leave the Karabakh territories, and as well as Armenia. Yes, more than 200,000 people were expelled from the historical Azerbaijan territories by the Armenians. Is that clear? So
Yeah.
did we have any option? How could we, if the Soviet Empire did not help us to stop Armenian aggression, how could we solve this problem? There was only one way, yes? What was that? Yes, to get independence from the Soviet Empire. That's why, guys, this is the point, this is the moment where Karabakh conflict outbreak. Why? Because the Armenians wanted to annex the Karabakh to Armenia. We said that no, Karabakh is historical Azerbaijan territory. What are you doing? Okay, so because of this pressure, Azerbaijani people, guys, in November 17, 1988, many people in Baku demonstrated. Demonstrations because of the Soviet Empire, and many people in Baku on 17 November 1988 started against the Soviet Empire in Baku. I mean that it's called demonstrations, and in Baku were started in Baku against the Soviet Empire. Demonstrator in Baku, you see, guys, many people gathered together in Baku, the central square in Baku. Yes, what was their demand? The demand of the population of Azerbaijani people was that they demanded Soviet Empire to stop Armenian aggression against Azerbaijan. Even, guys, can you imagine people raise the Azerbaijani flag? Can you imagine you are living under the occupation of someone and you raise your own flag? You want to be independent. Even people, I mean, demonstrators, they made these patriotic slogans. They said that freedom, independence. So the Soviet leadership started to intimidate. They started to be worried about that. Yes, why? Because it was clear sign of Azerbaijani people wanted to be independent. So this day goes, guys, called Revival Day, National Revival Day. We usually celebrate this day, national holiday in Azerbaijan. This is called National Revival Day. Why, guys, do you think it is called Revival Day? Any idea, please?
Because it's the second time. It's because the second time that Azerbaijan became independent.
Yes, it's road to the independence. Yes, it's road to the independence. Why it is called revival? Because people demanded that. The people realized that what is their rights. They demanded the Soviet Empire to stop double standards against Azerbaijan, to stop supporting Armenia, to stop Armenian aggression rather than supporting them. Okay. So what is the importance of this day? People raised it after 70 years, guys. People, Azerbaijani people, without fear from the Soviet Empire, they raised three-color Azerbaijani flag. Yes, they made the patriotic slogans and such as freedom, independence. Guys, empire was very kind of how can I say, closed society. Yes, there was a serious fear among the people that if they require something, demand something from the Soviet Empire, they would be punished by the government. Okay, because there was a repression, there was an oppression of the society. Everyone feared to say something. There was a restrictions on the freedom of speech in Soviet Empire. You couldn't say something because you were under the scrutiny of the government, under the strict scrutiny of the government. You could not say anything that you wanted to say. Okay, understand? Freedom. You cannot say that I want to be free. It was dangerous because Soviet Empire would punish you for saying that. Okay, guys, don't forget. Whenever you were asked question about what is the National Revival Day, what time is it? November 17, 1988. It's the beginning of national movement in Azerbaijan. Okay, guys. Again, why it is called national movement? Why it's called National Revival Day, National Movement?
Because
Huh?
they
It was the first time we expressed our desire to be independent. Yes.
independent.
Yes. This is the first time. It was the first time the people, approximately more than 1 million people, gathered together in the central square of Baku. They demanded Soviet Empire to stop Armenian aggression, and they demanded independence. They demanded freedom. They expressed their desire to be independent. Is it clear? That's the reason it's called National Movement, National Revival Day. Revival means that rebirth, to set something, to restore something that you lost. Okay, because we had independent state 70 years ago, but Soviet Empire occupied our territories. But now, because of their policy, we don't know, we no longer want to live on Soviet occupation, because Soviet Empire did not carry out the policy served to the interest of Azerbaijan. They supported Armenians rather than Azerbaijan then in this conflict, Karabakh conflict. Okay, so please don't forget again, National Movement Day, National Revival Day, 17 November, 1988, National Revival Day. Okay, National Revival Day. Guys, what do you think? So the demonstrators, Azerbaijani people, they protested against Soviet Empire. Yes, they demanded to stop this Armenian aggression. What would be the reaction of Soviet Empire to the Azerbaijan? What do you think? What was the reaction or the response of Soviet Empire to that demonstrations? Did they accept it, or? Yes, Sal, what do you think? Did they accept that, our demands, or not?
They didn't.
They didn't, of course they didn't. For example, you see the picture. So what is written on that wall? Can you please read it? Azerbaijan without USSR, yes? Can you see? The people, demonstrators, had written freedom on the wall. And Azerbaijan without USSR, yes? It was very dangerous for USSR. Of course, they never wanted to see the collapse of the Soviet Empire. So that's why it was clear that they would prevent Azerbaijan. They stopped Azerbaijan national movement because it would lead to the collapse of Soviet Empire. Look, in order to stop that, Soviet Empire so the Soviet Empire, what they do, expansion of the national movement in Azerbaijan, Soviet leadership decided to turn Baku into the lake of blood in order to stop the national movement. The Soviet military units, the Soviet military forces, they were brought to the Baku on the night of January 20, in 1990. The massacre was committed against Azerbaijan's civil population in Baku. So who are struggling for the freedom and independence of Azerbaijan. They use heavy artillery, military equipments. So they killed many people in Baku. It's called 20 January. Have you heard about that? 20 January.
Yeah.
Black January. Can you please tell me what is that? What is the importance of that day in the history of Azerbaijan?
Oh, it was like when so the Soviet Union didn't want Azerbaijan to split off from the Soviet Union and become independent states. So they came into Azerbaijan with a lot of military forces and equipment, and yeah, they started attacking.
Yeah, you are right. Actually, you are right, because Soviet Empire wanted to intimidate Azerbaijan And because why? Because they thought that Azerbaijan want to break away from the Soviet Empire. It would be end of Soviet Empire. To stop that, they just deployed a huge military units in Baku, killed people, civilian people, population in Baku in 20 January 1990. So guys, the efforts to stop the national movement of Azerbaijan was not successful actually. Why? Because although they killed many people in Baku, they wanted to intimidate people. However, they could not destroy the spirit of the people, freedom spirit of the people in Baku. Because after 1 year, Azerbaijan declared its independence from the Soviet Empire. We regained our independence, which we have lost 71 years ago. Okay. So that's why I call 20 January as a road to the independence. You see, at the beginning of presentation, I had written what? Road to the independence, yes. Why it is road to the independence, Ayhan? Why 20 January is the road to the independence? Ayhan, do you hear me? Just 1 minute, please. Okay. Ayhan, do you hear me? Just
Yes.
simple questions. Okay. Ayhan, what happened in 20 January 1990? What happened in 20 January?
I didn't.
Can you please listen to me carefully? Azerbaijan and Azerbaijani population expressed their desire to be independent because of the Soviet Empire's support to Armenia. They didn't stop Armenian aggression to us. So we desired to be independent. This is the called national movement, freedom movement, yes? So Soviet Empire wanted to stop that, stop national movement of Azerbaijan. Because, why? Because if Azerbaijan would get independence, it would be end of Soviet Empire, yes? They didn't want to see that. That's why they brought their army to Baku, killed civilian population in Baku. What was the purpose? To stop the national movement of Azerbaijan. Did you understand me?
Yes.
Okay, so that's why I call it what? Road to their independence. Because after that, people in Azerbaijan realized that if Soviet Empire kill Azerbaijanis, the citizens of Soviet Empire, what does it mean? What is the point to live under their occupation? We should be independent, yes? So
to follow their rules.
yes. Before what?
To follow their rules and do what they taught and do what they tell us to do.
Yeah. Manoj, what about you? Did you understand the importance of 20 January for us?
Kind of.
Okay, let me to summarize for you again. 20 January, why did it happen? Because Soviet Empire was the empire which we lived under the occupation, yes, did not want to see us as independent state, yes. So when this Azerbaijan national movement, freedom movement started in Baku in Azerbaijan against Soviet Empire, they wanted to stop that. How? They deployed army in Baku. They killed people in Baku by using the heavy weapons. So what was the purpose? The purpose was, the aim was to stop the national movement in Azerbaijan, yes? Do you understand me?
Okay. Yes.
So that's why when I ask you what is the importance of 20 January for us, by committing crime in Baku, Soviet Empire intended to destroy the freedom spirit of Azerbaijanis. yes, but they could not achieve that. Why? Because after 1 year, the people became more, how can I say, dissatisfied with Soviet Empire. They thought that if they kill us, what's the point living under their occupation? Yes, if they discriminate us, if they don't allow us to at least to say to have our rights, what is the point to live under the Soviet Empire if they don't support us, if they don't help us, if they don't preserve our rights, the territorial integrity of Azerbaijan? What is the point of living under their occupation? So that's why, guys, after 1 year, 1991, Azerbaijan declared its independence. Azerbaijan broke away from the Soviet Empire. Soviet Empire collapsed. So, guys, overall, Azerbaijan national movement was kind of the beginning of collapse of Soviet Empire, which was a huge empire, included 15 nations, 15 republics. Yes. So that's all for our national movement. I just wanted to give you brief information about the national movement of Azerbaijan. Why national movement started in Azerbaijan? Because of the Karabakh conflict, because of the Armenians. They escalated the conflict again. They forced us to do that. Okay, because without independence, we couldn't solve the problem in Karabakh, because Armenians had put pressure on us and they forced Azerbaijanis, they killed Azerbaijanis in Karabakh. They demanded the Soviet Empire to annex the Karabakh to the Armenia, the Azerbaijan territory, international recognized Azerbaijan territory. So that's all. So next lesson, I'll talk about the Azerbaijan, independent Azerbaijan Republic and the first Karabakh war between Azerbaijan and Armenia. That's all for today. Guys, have you ever seen, how can I call it, the Alley of Martyrs in Baku? Have you ever visited to that place?
I'm not sure. I think I have.
Yes, so because it is holy place for us, yes, because in here the people were killed during the 20th January buried here, yes. Their graves are located all here. This is very holy place for us because why? Because the people sacrificed their life for the independence of Azerbaijan. They sleep here, okay? They sleep here, so that's why it's a holy place. It's important. It's located on the top of the, say, kind of not the mountain, but highest place of Baku. Okay, and that's all for today. Okay, so let me to share one video with you. Let me to
Can
find that.
you tell me what you did last lesson? Because I wasn't here last lesson.
The last lesson we talked about Second World War, because in the previous lesson I could not finish the lesson. That's why I spent time for the Second World War as the participation of Azerbaijan in this Second World War. I have put the presentation in Google Classroom. You can get from there. Okay.
Okay.
So this is about 20 January, and I'm kind of asking you to work, and maybe you can understand better from the video. Okay. You have 5 minutes, guys. Time running. Have you finished, guys?
Yeah, I finished.
Okay. Ayhan and
I
Nat, what
finished
about
as
you?
well.
Good. Ayhan, I'm seeing that still. Okay. Melech, what did you understand from the video? Is it similar to what I told you?
Yeah, it's very a lot of protesting
Why?
to become an independent nation.
Yeah.
I finished.
Good, Ayhan.
There was
Okay.
loads of people killed because of I think there was 170 something people killed and
Yeah.
loads of people injured. Yeah.
Could
The
Soviet
Soviet
Empire,
And
could
a lot
Soviet
arrested.
Yes, of course, arrested. So there was famous leader of national movement, freedom movement in Azerbaijan, Abulfazl Tvay. He was the leader of the national movement in Azerbaijan, actually. So he created a party organization, let's say, Popular Front of Azerbaijan, and he was the people. Of course, you know, whenever there is a political movement, independence movement, you need to be led by someone, yes, because a crowd without a leader cannot achieve something. Am I right? So someone should be leader, yes. So and shows the right direction to the people. Yeah. So this person was the founder of National Front, Popular Front of Azerbaijan. It was the party demanded independence for Azerbaijan within the Soviet Empire. Yes. So, Ayhan, what did you understand from the video? Can you please summarize for me?
In January 20, in the 20th of January, people protested, like loads of people protested around the statue. I think it was like a statue or something. They protested around a statue, I think, because
Why did they?
of
Why did they?
because they want for independence.
Yeah, you're. Hey, Jared, what about you?
Yeah.
Can you please explain why national movement started in Azerbaijan?
Oh, because so Armenians were like now like there was a state of Armenia. It was also part of the Soviet Union, and so was Azerbaijan. And Azerbaijan were expecting Russia to do something about the genocide of Armenia. But
You're right.
they realized that there was no help coming, and so 72 years later, they decided to make. They decided to come, like over 1 million people decided to come at the square, and they were protesting against they were protesting for independence, and then so Russia didn't want the Soviet Union to collapse, so they the
Who was the Soviet leader at that time? Who was the Soviet leader of that
I'm
time?
not sure.
Do you remember? Yeah, Gorbachev. Yes, you're right. So, before the escalation of the conflict, yes, at the end of the 20th century, so I mean in 1980s, Azerbaijan lived peacefully in the Soviet Empire. Yes, we didn't have any serious problems because in Baku, in Sumgait, for example, famous cities of Azerbaijan, yes, Armenians
I can't hear you.
They live together and with us, and even Azerbaijan is living in Armenia. So something happened at the end of 1980. Guys, do you hear me?
Oh yeah, now I do.
Guys, yeah. What is the problem? Am I lagging or? Right. Okay. So
Yeah,
I was
like,
telling that we lived with our peacefully during the Soviet Empire, but something happened in the 80s. The conflict escalated between Armenians and Azerbaijanis. So you now Azerbaijanis living in Armenia, for example, in the eastern part of Armenia, with many people living in Armenia. Yes. So and suddenly they shifted their policy. They started to expel Azerbaijan from the Armenian territories. So more than 200,000 people were expelled from the Armenia, and they started to kill Azerbaijanis in Karabakh. So of course we couldn't accept that, yes, because that's why national movement started. Okay, so as you mentioned, Jared. Okay, that's all. So let's answer the questions. Let me to share with you. Okay, we have, if I'm not mistaken, 8 questions. Yeah. So the first 2 questions, what is the national movement and what's the importance of Black January for us? This question should be answered by who? Melech. Yeah, Melech. Do you want to answer that? That's actually it's the first 3 questions.
Sorry, can you repeat that, please?
There's 3 questions. What's the national movement? What's the importance of Black January? And what was the purpose of Soviet leadership in committing massacre against us in January? These 3 questions, it's for you, okay? And Ayhan,
Which one were they?
the first one, second one, and third one.
Okay.
The first and third one. So, and why did national movement started? And what National Revival Day? It's for you, Ayhan. Why did national movement start? And what is the National Revival Day? And the last 3 questions for you, Jared.
Okay. Was Abulfaz Aliyev, was he the president at the time?
3 minutes.
The president of Azerbaijan at the time.
Okay.
Or like the leader? I'm done.
Really? Okay, good. Let's start with you. Did Azerbaijan restore Abulfaz? Yeah, okay, let's start with that. Who's Abulfaz?
Was he
What questions am I doing?
Oh, wait.
Melech, can you please speak? They're experiencing some connection problems. I'm not sure, is it your connection problem or your connection problem? Second.
Yeah, I can't really hear you.
I can, or
I think
Malaj, can
for your side.
I can't
let me check
hear
whether
you properly.
me, you cannot hear me?
Yeah, it's.
I can
your
hear you
mic-
right now.
Sometimes it just doesn't work for you. It just like kind of bugs out sometimes. Do I like answer my questions?
What about now?
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
that's
that's better. So should I answer my questions? Are you saying something? Because I can't hear you.
Even the video is open. Okay. Can you please start, Jelly?
Oh,
Can
so
you
was
now? Let's see. Who was the Abulfazil Jubai?
was he the first like president of Azerbaijan?
Okay, guys, do you hear me now? Is it okay or?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, so the first question was about Al-Fazil Jubai, who was the leader of the national movement in Azerbaijan. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he created a party to organize the protest against the Soviet Empire, which was also known as what? Popular Front of Azerbaijan. Yes. And what was the second question?
Wait. Wait. What was the second question again?
Second question was what were the demands of demonstrators in protest in Baku on 18 November?
Oh yeah. So
What they demanded from the Soviet Empire protesters.
They want to become independent. So they all came to the square.
No, they demanded to stop Armenia. They were careful to demand independence. They demanded to stop Armenian aggression. Okay, it was a demand and protest. Okay, so the third one, what time did Azerbaijan restore its independence?
Wait, is this like the exact time of day, or is it like the date?
Yeah, 1991, 18 October. 1991, 18 October. Okay.
Wait, wasn't it in 1992?
Good. No, 1991 October.
Okay.
I'll talk about that in the next lesson. No worries. Just know that that movement, national movement, lead to the independence of Azerbaijan. This is the point you need to know for today. Okay, Malaj, what about you? What was your question? What is the national movement?
Is it a nationalism that tends to like promote the interests of a particular nation?
Yeah, but what was the interest of Azerbaijan?
The independence.
Yeah, of course. Freedom and independence. Our interest was that Karabakh is Azerbaijan territory, either you need to stop Armenian aggression, or we will be free, we will be independent to solve our problems. Okay, not solve the problem, not stop Armenian aggression. So that's why, of course, demonstrated demanded Soviet Empire to take action, but they didn't. We had not the only Okay, so the question 2, what is the importance of Black January for us? Black January, 20 January. Why it is important?
Black January, it was important because that's when we
Azerbaijan
gained
history.
because that's when we gained independence.
That lead to what? No, that is the road to the independence.
Yeah.
Yes. How? Because so we did, when the Soviet Empire shot the people, killed the people in Baku. Yes, our people realized that we cannot live under the occupation of Soviet empires. They don't care about the people. They kill people in Azerbaijan. Why we live under their occupation? Okay. Why we need to live under the Soviet empire's control? So that's why even 20 January event, as a genocide, let's say massacre, how can I call it? I don't know. So it led to the people realizing their independence more than before. Okay, so the third question, what was the purpose of Soviet leadership in committing the massacre against us? What was their purpose? Why they brought their army to Baku?
I didn't
committed massacre against us.
I didn't do that one because you lagged off and then your
That's
screen.
very simple. That's very simple. Let's say I am the state controlling you and you are under my control. Yes, you want to be free. What measure would I take to stop you to be free? I should punish you, yes? Am I right? It's the same thing. They wanted to intimidate us to stop the national movement or freedom movement of Azerbaijan by deploying the army in Baku and killing the people. Okay, is it clear?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Can you please tell me again what is the importance of 20 January for us? They wanted to punish us, yes? So to stop our national movement, the freedom movement. That's a simple answer. Please don't forget. Okay, Ayhan, what about you? Why did national movement start in Azerbaijan in 1988, November 17?
To get independence.
Why? But why it started? But didn't we want to be independent before that?
Yeah.
Because of Armenian, because they claimed they wanted to annex the Karabakh to Armenia. They forced us to kill, they killed us. And yes, we saw that we don't have any other way to solve our problem because Soviet Empire did not stop Armenians' aggression against us. That's why national movement, revival. It's why it is called the National Revival Day, Ayhan. What is the revival in English? Let's say. Can you please give me a definition of that?
Revival. I don't know how to explain it.
Revival is something to get something
like,
back, let's say.
Like it's kind of like fix.
Yes, you're right. So what did we fix? Let's say we were independent state 70 years ago. Soviet Empire occupied our territory. Now we want to revive our independence, freedom. Yes, that's why it's called revival movement or revival day. We wanted to revive, to restore our independent statehood traditions, let's say. Okay, that's why it's called revival. Have you heard about Renaissance movement? Renaissance, revival, reverse of the ancient culture from the world history. No.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. I hope you understood topic, because it's a very important topic for understand today of Azerbaijan's today. How did without national if you are on the stage, so you need to start the national movement, freedom movement to be independent. Without that, you cannot be independent, because anyone would like to give you independence peacefully. Okay, you cannot get independence peacefully. You need to struggle for that. You need to sacrifice your life, give many sacrifices for that. Okay, that's all for today, guys. Do you have any question?
No.
Did you understand
No.
topic? No?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, bye-bye. Good day or
Bye.
good weekend.
See
Bye.
you next week.
Bye-bye. See you
Bye.
next week. Bye-bye.